At Chipotle, we also have a playlist. Guacamole as it's being hand-mashed. The sizzle of adobo chicken on the grill. The chopping of onions and cilantro. We call our playlist Real. Order now. Chipotle. For real.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. From streaming to shopping, Prime helps you get more out of your passions. So whether you're a fan of true crime or prefer a nail-biting novel from time to time, with services like Prime Video, Amazon Music, and fast free delivery, Prime makes it easy to get more out of whatever you're into or getting into. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to learn more.
The Conjuring Last Rites. On September 5th.
Come down, everyone in your house! Lorraine! Lorraine! Lorraine!
The Conjuring Last Rites. Only in theaters September 5th. Rated R.
Welcome to a brand new episode of But Am I Wrong? Starring two people who have not once ever been wrong. It's Meghan and Melisa. The crowd goes wild. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. So blessed to be here today. Thank you so much. We have a wonderful show for you. It is comprised of multiple segments. Comprised. I was like, that doesn't sound right. It is comprised of multiple segments. Words are going to get easier, I swear. Multiple segments, and we will explain each one of them before we get into it. But what you need to know is we want you to participate. There are multiple ways to participate, but really the big one is to vote on who you think was wrong in each thing that we talked about on today's episode. You can head on over to our Instagram. We post stories there that we add to the highlights, and it's a little poll, and you get to tap, vote who you think was in the wrong, who wasn't. And you can write in, reply to those stories, and say why you voted the way you did, your thoughts and feelings. Sometimes we say things or we have topics that like you have a lot of feelings about, and like that's the place to air it out. We want to hear what you have to say, and we read them on our See You Next Tuesday episode, the results as well as your thoughts and feelings. Sometimes we even have updates from people who've written in or pop culture updates on stories we've talked about. So it's a grand old time. A grand old time.
Really tapping into your heritage.
I want to watch Dairy Girls again. I like miss just being able to slip into the accent because like if you don't watch it for a while, you lose it.
You don't use it, you lose it.
Exactly. That's what that dairy accent does to you. It really is. It's fickle.
All right. Shall we get into our first segment?
I think we shall. Our first segment is But Am I Wrong? Where we pitch a hot take, a rant, something in our life that we want to know if we're in the wrong about to each other. And it's honesty. And we say, are you wrong or are you not? So, am I first?
You're first.
Woo! My hot take is, Benson Boone, you have an op amongst you. You have somebody on your team who has been encouraging these word salad AI songs, your sparkly little jumpsuits with your belly button showing, and doing backflips off of any elevated surface. When this whole time, you had the ability to sing Adele in the original key. Like, I'm willing to forgive that you are Mormon based on that video if you can promise me you will ship all of those sparkly jumpsuits back to the Elton John impersonator you stole them from. You will put on, you can put on a gown, you can put on a suit. I don't want you to wear a gown. You're a straight Mormon man, and I don't like that. I want you, put on a suit, you want to wear a tank top? Wear a tank top. I don't need to see your belly button ever again, and I need your 2 feet planted on the ground at all times. If you must, you can get on your tippy toes. If you feel the song through your body, and I need you to sing because turned out you can fucking sing. This whole time he's been able to do this, and this is not what he has been putting out here. Huh? huh? It's like, do you have a humiliation kink? Like, what is it that made you go, no, we're actually not going to we're not going to showcase that I can sing Adele in the original key. Instead, let's do this moonbeam ice cream stupid shit. And then let's do a collab with Crumble Cookies, which, congratulations, the founder of Crumble Cookies did in fact just come out as gay after.
I mean,
he was
is it really a congratulations?
Well, did you see the video that sparked it? It was some guy being like, I'm sorry, like, why did no one fucking tell me that the founder of Crumble, because he like did a house tour, and this guy did a video
I know,
like,
I've seen all of it. I've seen Grant from Twink and Redhead. He did a whole breakdown.
No,
that's who you're talking about?
No, Grant literally was like, I don't ever like to out people, but sorry, you weren't doing a very good job of staying in the club.
Grant, I had saw Grant's whole thing of breaking it down.
And that's the video. Was the video that forced him out of the closet.
Yeah, I mean, there were many people bullying this MAGA right-wing Republican to come out. And, I don't speak upon the community that I'm not a part of, but
okay, you're gonna hate my wrong of the week then. I am in business of that. It's not my space, but I'm in there.
Okay,
I'm there. I think it's so funny though, his coming out pose. Everybody's like, so is he coming out as Mormon or gay? Because it was like he basically said the word, like he said Mormon like so many more times. They said, everyone's like, I thought we knew he was Mormon. And then someone made a response and they were like, wait, I'm sorry, I fully missed that one time he said he was gay in this. I thought this was him coming out as Mormon. That man also, like, he scares me. Like, the look of his face and
yeah. He has gay face, but like it's like frozen in time.
Look at you, Melissa, saying I'm not gonna speak on a community that I'm not a part of.
I mean, that is something. I think that gay faces, you can just look. That's not something you have to be part of the community.
Well, to be fair, this man has taken his skin and he has stapled it behind his skin.
That's like, what I said. He's gay face that's frozen.
It is. I've actually never seen. I didn't know skin could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think when those staples dissolve, I fear his skin is going to fall off like necrosis. Like, I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to look like when someone takes out gauges from their ears for years. Like, that's what's going to happen to his face. I don't even know how he fully closes his mouth. It's so taut. And like, I hope everybody knows how big of this is for me to say, because like, I hate Benson Boone. And like, anytime I overhear someone talking about Benson Boone, like, I have to tell people like, fuck Benson Boone. Benson Boone sucks. But like, turns out that bitch can really fucking sing.
I mean, you could hear his tone.
I can't.
It was just the choices of song.
Yeah, and the flipping.
You could tell that he could sing.
But like, stop flipping, because you can sing. Like, I don't need like a dance. Like, you're not even dancing. It's just like a flip break.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I don't know why people are so surprised that he can sing, because I could hear him. That's why I initially liked him.
The range, well, yeah, it's true, you did. The range for me is like, that is surprising. And you know what? That is because, I'll admit it, have I ever been able to get through a full Benson Boone song? Of course not. Of course not. But when he covered Adele, I was like, what the? But I do need him to get out of those goofy little costumes as he's doing it. Adele performs that in Vegas in a gown with a beautiful Hollywood glam wave. And I'm just like, and here you are in a latex race car driver Spirit Halloween costume that you've cut out the belly button for, because for some reason you need us to see your belly button all the time.
Maybe he wants somebody to blow raspberry.
Yeah. I also still really hate that Grammys like performance where he just like kept grabbing his dick in his fucking like little latex costume. I'm like, please
that's
stop.
when I first saw him.
And you said, I actually think I like this freaky little boy.
To the singing. I wasn't actually paying attention to the performance. I was on my computer, but I was listening. Like,
you had to have a big distraction, because it was shiny and there was a lot of gyrating.
I mean, I like looked up, but I didn't really look at him.
Yeah. So, wow, she's really good, in the words of Camp Rock.
We're making another one.
Camp Rock.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote Camp Rick.
The brothers and Demi.
Nick
you
and
see they
Debbie are on
brought-
speaking terms again, which is the craziest part.
They brought her out to perform with them.
I know, which
And then they were like, let's get the next Camp Rock going.
I need to know how the reconciliation happened between
I don't know
Demi
anything
and
about
Nick.
them or their relationship, so I can't
it-
speak upon it.
Everyone thinks the real shocker was that Demi and Joe were friends again. No, it's Demi and Nick. If you're in the lore, you understand.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into mine.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. This podcast you're listening to, it was once just a dream. A dream that became reality not by accident, but because someone decided not to let the what ifs keep them from creating something they believed in. Starting your own business is a dream lots of us share, but too many let it remain just a dream. Don't hold yourself back from creating what you believe in, and turn those what ifs into why nots with Shopify by your side. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world, and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. What if I can't design a website? Shopify's got you with beautiful, ready-to-go templates to match your brand's style. What if I need a hand? Get help with everyday tasks like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, or generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. What if people haven't heard about my brand? Shopify helps you find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And what if I get stuck? Shopify's always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer support. So turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
Buenos dias! Café Bustelo espresso styled iced coffee is hitting refrigerators with a cold front that'll sweep through your senses. So keep the coffee pours long and the cool sip slow. Café Bustelo está aquí.
All right, we're back. And it's time for me to get into mine. And my hot take is, I want more career politicians.
You're speaking my motherfucking language. You know how I feel about this?
So we've often heard someone say with a certain air of disdain, I don't want to vote for a career politician. The phrase is so common that it almost feels like an acceptable truth. At a time when cynicism about our political system runs high, this resentment towards those who make a profession of public service seems to make perfect sense. We are a generation, my generation specifically, that has been told to be wary of political class. But I'm here today to change that line of thinking because as rational as that resentment might feel, it is in fact deeply unfounded. In my opinion, it ignores a fundamental and logical truth that politician is a profession like any other that requires skill, practice, and knowledge of theory. And we, the people, deserve to have the most qualified person for the job. We would never board a plane piloted by someone who had never flown before. We would never allow ourselves to be operated on by a surgeon who had never picked up a scalpel. Why then would we entrust the leadership of our communities, our states, and our nation to a person without the necessary experience? Being a politician is not a hobby. It is a job that needs to be taken seriously with a skill set that takes years to hone. While a law degree is not a mandatory requirement for public office, it's easy to see why so many of our leaders have one. The legal profession provides a masterclass in the various skills required to govern. It teaches you how to construct a coherent argument and how to think critical under pressure, skills essential for public policy and debates. It provides an awareness of how policies are applied and interpreted, helping a politician understand the real-world impact of new law. A law degree offers a deep understanding of the legal system and processes by which our laws are made, so a person isn't simply learning on the job. But classroom learning isn't enough. We also need leaders who are amongst the people. The most effective politicians are not just versed in legal precedent or political theory. They are deeply embedded in the communities they serve. They understand the daily struggles, the local issues, and the unique challenges of their constituents. The ideal politician is a hybrid, someone with the institutional knowledge to navigate the halls of power and the lived experience to genuinely represent the people they serve. So let's address the elephant in the room, the career politician. A quick look at American history reveals that the vast majority of our most productive and progressive presidents had extensive experience in elected office before reaching the White House. This wasn't a coincidence. They didn't have to spend their first term learning the basics of how government works. They could hit the ground running using their hard-won skills and knowledge to lead effectively. The resentment we feel towards career politicians is often a distraction, funneling our energy away from more important issues that need to be resolved. This isn't to say that politicians should serve for life. In fact, I believe the necessity of term limits. Term limits provide a crucial check on power and ensure that we have a regular influx of new ideas and perspectives. It's a way of balancing the need for expertise with the need for fresh blood. It prevents stagnation without devaluing the very real and necessary skills that come from experience. Look at the mess that we're in with our current president, who has no experience in the political office at all. Look at Reagan, who is the reason for the downfall.
And the reason why Trump got I think if we fixed the Reagan timeline, I think we would have fixed the Trump timeline.
It would have fixed a lot of racism that happened. So like, I am tired of these people coming in with zero experience and running these things like a business or entertainment spectacle and not actually serving the people. So in closing, being a politician is a demanding and complex job. It requires a combination of legal and legislative expertise, a deep connection to the community, and the practice skill that only comes from experience. When we choose our representatives, let's move past the knee-jerk disdain for career politicians and instead demand the most qualified person for the job, because we, our communities, our states, our nation deserve nothing less. And when we don't follow this, we end up in the mess that we are in now.
Yep. I mean, I've always said that there are 3 professions where I need you to be an egomaniac narcissist, a surgeon, a pilot, and a politician, because you need to believe that you can do this better than anybody. Mm-hmm. You need to be like, yeah, I am qualified to have people's lives in my hands. And like someone who's like, I don't want that responsibility to do that. You have to literally think you are the best of the fucking best.
And have the skills to back it up, the skills and the education to back it up.
You have to like so wholeheartedly believe that there is nobody better fit than you for that you have dedicated your entire fucking life to being like, yeah, here, told you so. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't have imposter syndrome. Like, it is all of this, and that I'm just like, yeah. And also, you have a track record of this. Like, and anytime anyone's like, well, at the end of the day, like, this person's still a politician. And I'm like, so, yeah, because it's politics.
Yeah. And so, like, in saying all this, like, I think you can work your way up into becoming, president or whatever, but you need to have had a track record in local politics before you even do that. So once you get into politics, you are therefore a politician. So that doesn't make any sense.
Yes. And like the only perfect politician is a politician who's never held office.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and then therefore they're not a politician.
Exactly. It's just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, as president, you have to make, like, it's the trolley decision all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And like this idea of like people who are like, well, I would simply find another track for the trolley to go. That's not the question. That is not the option. Like, you have to have someone who is okay making decisions that like both options have catastrophic results. As opposed to being like, well, what if we just had a whole system where there were no catastrophic results? Okay. And if my grandma had wheels, she would have been a bike. Like,
yeah.
What? You're not wrong.
Thanks.
And will I be voting for my hot, sexy, villainous governor to run for president? Of course I will.
Mm-hmm.
The career politician? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's worked his way up and he has studied.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Let's take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are You Wrong?
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
Claptrap here. 2 big things are coming this fall. Borderlands 4 and Spotify Wrapped. So stop listening to that one playlist that reminds you of your ex who only made you cry. Talking about you, Veronica. And pre-order Borderlands 4, coming out September 12th.
Rated mature.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Got a car to sell but no time to waste? Hop on to Carvana.com to get a real offer for your car in seconds. All you have to do is enter your license plate, answer a few quick questions, and if you accept the offer, Carvana will pay you as soon as you hand the keys over. They even offer same-day pickup in many cities. Save your time, score some cash, and sell your car the convenient way to Carvana. Pickup times vary. Fees may apply.
We're back. It is time for But Are You Wrong? And this is where you write into butamiwrongpod@gmail.com or you fill out the form on our socials or listed in the show notes with the circumstance or situation that you want to know if you are in the wrong about. We also have opened it up to your own hot takes and your own rants. And we tell you what we think. Keep it under 300 words, and it is all anonymous. So if you want to come up with some fake names, go for it. As long as we can follow it, you're good. Am I wrong for thinking people need to learn media literacy and not think fictional shows are reality TV, and that we also need to stop being so desensitized to violence? Currently, with The Summer I Turned Pretty, people are saying a character is... I can't. Oh my God. I'm pissed. I don't even watch the show. Currently, people are saying this character is, quote unquote, getting a bad edit, and that they're twisting things against him. If the scriptwriter and the author of a series wanted him to be portrayed differently, he would be. It's not an edit. It is a script. Further, saying characters and the respective actors or people who work on the show should die or be killed. That's crazy. Die or be killed for an ending someone doesn't want is insane. Inundating actors and people's personal accounts with threats because of your opinion on a TV show ending is unhinged, and we need to separate fiction and reality again. I have resisted this show because I have no desire to watch a show about like high schoolers. And I think like now they're a bit older, but like when it started, but I also remember when this book came out and like, it was like, I think I read the book in like middle school, or there was, it was recommended as like if you liked this book, whatever, you'll like this book. But it came out when I was in like high school or something like that. And I remember picking it up and being like, oh no, I feel like I was already being like, I'm a little too mature for this. Probably wasn't. But like I was like, see everybody talking about it. And I really, what set it off was I saw someone being like, the lighting in the show is beautiful. And I was like, I love to appreciate some great lighting. Let me see if I can watch it. And I started watching the trailer and I was like, I can't. Like I want to, but like I'm having a hard time. Maybe I'll get into it. But it's like I know bits and pieces like of the story because it was a very popular book as well. What the fuck do you mean people are calling it a bad edit? Like that's open the schools.
I haven't heard anything about this show except for seeing the ads for the show when I turn on my TV because I have a Amazon, whatever. My TV is
Roku?
run by no.
A Fire
Roku.
Stick.
It's not that either. But my TV itself is a smart TV from Amazon. So therefore Prime it's a Fire TV. That's what it's called.
Yes, sorry.
So therefore Prime, as soon as I turn on my TV, I'm getting ads for stuff that plays on Prime. And it just didn't feel like I probably would like it, but just there's so much TV that I haven't watched that I didn't. And I also don't like the title of it. Sorry.
No, yeah. I have to say that like the initial rollout for it, I think like her name is like Belly, and like it's the summer I turned pretty, and I was like, it was very much giving like this is far too young for me. And like now that they've aged up more, but like I do think ultimately I would like it, but I think the marketing of season 1, I was just like, I'm not into that. Yeah.
But people know too much now, and they also don't use it correctly in the same way.
Much, but not enough.
Yes, like they know terms, but they're not defining the terms. Bring back spelling tests. Bring back, when I did spelling tests, we had to do not just know how to spell it, but had to put the definition next to it and then use it in a sentence.
Yeah.
And I think that's missing, or people just like hear things and they're like, okay, now I know how to use this. Another example of that is saying that people aren't media trained. And I'm like,
what do you think that means?
Yes. Like, this is... Writer, you're not wrong, because none of this makes sense. And there was something else that I saw. Actually, it was in your comments. Yeah, they were talking about you didn't know what PR was. And I was like, and I just laughed.
I literally responded and said, I am a baby. I don't know anything. Like,
you don't know how PR works.
No, I have no idea how PR works. I've never had a publicist. Like, no, I have absolutely no clue how PR works. You're right. Thank you so much. Sarah, a 14-year-old from fucking Nebraska who has never left the 20-mile radius of your hometown. Like, you're right. I don't actually know how PR works. Like, it's so stupid. And I feel like it did start with like the weaponizing and the misuse of like therapy speak. Like it's like the gaslighting and all of has turned into like all of this. Like we've lost the term Nepo baby. People are deeply confused what Nepo baby means. And it's just word salad. Word salad, yummy, yummy. Like that is the vibe of this. And like what I will say, conflating like the actor with the show, that's like people do that. Like
people
that to
been
me,
doing
like,
that,
yeah, like it sucks, but like, and I don't think it's right or correct. I don't think that has increased as like due to like a lack of like media literacy or like not knowing the difference between fact and reality. It's just that they have more access to actors because of like social media. But like people made fucking t-shirts for like if you were team Jennifer Aniston or team Angelina Jolie, like fully grown adults were wearing t-shirts of what team they were on after Brad Pitt cheated on Jen Aniston. Like that's not new.
Like soap actors talk about how they have been in the grocery store and they get smacked because of things that they're like, people have literally walked up to them and smacked them in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say that like probably compiled with the rest of like how people are treating this show as a whole, it's giving like even more unhinged than like a typical sort of like fan base. I will, in general, when there is like romantic love interest as like young men, that's kind of like the prime spot for that delusion to be created. And I really know that one of them is like great offline and the other one is like a raging conservative. So that also has to be a factor in people feeling so heated about which way she chooses, because it feels like a co-signing of an ideology. You know? Those two men also do not look fucking related. Like, they look so not related. And
Are they supposed to be related?
They're supposed to be brothers. She's like just keeps bouncing back between fucking brothers. But I did see someone make a take because I guess like she's like really pissing people off right now. Like the character. Like her choices that she's making. Which again, I'm like, did they totally divert from the book? Because like, is that part of why people are mad? Because like, I don't think you could be surprised then if this is like literally like the ancient text is there, the book from 2009. But that she I saw a take where someone was like, no, this is like all because she's ending up with a guy from what I've seen on TikTok with a guy who literally got her a ring that was like $100 and it's like so tiny and ugly. And like he keeps cheating on her and she like keeps forgiving him. And she like won't forgive the other brother for like being emotionally distant when their mom died. And he keeps saying when his mom died. And I'm like, you are brothers though. Like both. And she's just like, he just like totally neglected me and like my feelings. And I was like, okay, so you're cool with the shorter, uglier brother cheating on you, but not the one who was like distraught when his mom died. Like, okay. But someone else said that the whole thing is technically a love letter to the beach house where she like really like spent the summers with these boys, that all she wants at the end of the day is the deed to that beach house. And I was like, maybe this, and everyone's like, this is actually a show about real estate and like the lengths you will go through to get a house on the sand. And I was like, well, that makes sense to me. The house is beautiful, but I don't think we need to keep fucking brothers.
Maybe she just wants to fuck them both at the same time. Is it disgusting? Yeah. But like, if you did it at the same time, maybe you would be finished. Because
also,
like, why would you want to be in this? Why would you want to be in the same hole that your brother was in before? Like, are they actually fucking? I don't know. Never seen it.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a very like chaste, like virginal kind of thing. Cause like she's getting married like in college.
Okay.
Which people are like, or like, or she's like 20, 21 or something. And I've seen ones of being like, if like her name's Belly, like if Belly had a friend who also had an Asian parent, like who came from like an Asian household, being like, your mom is letting you, what? Something's wrong. Like this is insane. Like, what do you mean that your parents are letting you do this? Like, this is crazy. Like, she needs at least one friend who's like, what the fuck are you doing? But I don't know if there's like a, saving ourselves kind of mentality. I have to think not, because like, what are we considering cheating at like when you're older than like what, 16, 17? Holding hands? Kissing?
Yeah, anything that you're not doing with your actual partner is cheating.
I turned pretty, but I think he's in I guess, but I would assume that unless they're at a religious school, I think the implication was like he like cheated when he was at college. Or maybe they didn't have sex. Summer turned pretty. Do I just search sex? They added a sex scene. Mm-hmm. Oh, in the books, she doesn't sleep with them. Also, you know what I don't like is they're brothers, and the beach house is in a place called Cousins Beach.
Gross.
Yeah, beautiful home though. So yeah, this you are not wrong, writer.
No.
Look at that house.
Oh, yeah.
I'd fuck brothers for that house. I'd fuck your dad for that house.
Is it their house?
It's their family house. And not to be dark, mother did die. But come on. Yeah. But imagine if someone who had stake in that home gets you a $150 engagement ring. But I will say ThreadUp did a really funny thing of being like, things you can buy from ThreadUp that cost less than her engagement ring. And I was like, that's funny.
All right. Now we're going to take a break.
This episode is brought to you by Rakuten. If you're shopping while working, eating, or even listening to this podcast, then you know and love the thrill of a deal. But are you getting the deal and cash back? Rakuten shoppers do. They get the brands they love, savings, and cash back. And you can get it too. Stack sales on top of cash back and feel what it's like to know you're maximizing savings. It's easy to use, and you get cash back sent to you through PayPal or check. The idea is simple. The brands you love pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back. Download the free Rakuten app or go to Rakuten.com to start saving today. It's the most rewarding way to shop. That's RAKUTEN. Rakuten.com.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
And we are back. It is time for
But
Are
they
They Wrong? Where we nominate our Wrong of the Week. Someone who we think deserves it. Now, if you'll recall the beginning of the episode, Melissa said she doesn't like to speak about, communities she's not a part of. Just remember, Melissa said that. I didn't say that because my Wrong of the Week, I am all up in gay people's business, specifically lesbian business. And I do want to give a disclaimer. I am not gay. So I want to give just at least 3 accounts to check out their conversations about this who are a part of the community. First one, these are all on TikTok. One is Old Saint Beatnik, Beatnik. The other one is Livy Gold, Livy Goldy, Livigoldi. And then also Horace Gold, HoraceGold. Lots of golds in here. And yeah, those are people. I mean, Horace went to college with the person that we're talking about. And they all kind of touch on different, not even different like perspectives, but like different from their own different identities and like lived experience aspects of this. And they also all touch on different, turns out this person has been saying a lot of wild things for a long time. So my nomination is Betty Who. Do you know who Betty Who is?
I know what we're getting into.
She's familiar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Betty Who is a singer, and I think it's really important to note because I had no idea that Betty Who is Australian, and she's like lost her accent in the last couple of years. So I think some of the statements that she has said have been like, oh, problematic, but like not as like, wow, what the fuck? Because they seem to be said by an American. But I do think that like her being Australian saying some of these things like makes it like adds a whole other layer of context. And so Betty Who recently did a podcast. Betty Who apparently loves a podcast. Most of this stuff is just from podcasts. Where she got on and the context was originally talking about Jojo Siwa. And as we know, Jojo Siwa is dating Chris from Chris and Kem from Love Island UK. And it is traumatizing for me personally as a Jojo Siwa fan, as someone who enjoyed Chris and Kem. Like it is distressing that a fully grown adult man, preyed on a young person on TV while they were getting bullied by literally Mickey Rourke. Like it's just like a whole fucked up circumstance situation. So, in doing that, defending Jojo Siwa, it's important to note that Betty Who identifies as a lesbian who has been with a man for 14 years, who has been married to her husband for like 14 years. And has like recently shifted the identity to be, says that they're bisexual, but then still will say that they are lesbian. They will still use slurs that are used towards lesbians, but as a self-identifying term. And she said that told that she holds space. She said like she saw a video of Renee Rapp saying that like she would never date a man again. Renee Rapp is a lesbian. And Betty Who said that she holds space for in 10 years if, you know, if Renee Rapp is like introduces like a man that she's married to and is like loves and it's wonderful and great. And that is like quite literally like the same thing like straight men say to lesbians, that like you just haven't met the right guy yet, or like you will eventually change your sexuality. And like I like used to say like when people ask like, oh, are you straight? I'd be like, yeah, I'm straight. And I used to say like I am not. And this was for me from a place of like recognizing that sexuality is fluid and being like, who knows, maybe I haven't met the right girl yet. And I had some people who were like so kind to educate me, being like, hey, I totally understand what you mean here. But because sexuality is fluid, the opposite is also true. Sexuality sometimes is not fluid. Some people know exactly what they are and where they're at. And until that, if that ever does happen to you, for sure, say that. But I understand you're trying to be like open to the idea of like sexuality being this like sliding spectrum. But unless that is like how you currently feel about your life, unfortunately, the reverse can then also be true. That like, hey, I'm a lesbian, but I just haven't met the right man yet. And I was like, oh, fully clicks. Thank you. And I stopped saying that. So this whole conversation of her saying about like, you know, Renee Rapp, and Renee, it's specifically because Renee said she hates when people talk about how she'll end up with a man or that she'll become bi again and she's no longer a lesbian. And like Renee has these videos that she's talked about where she like gets choked up about how she's like, I'm so glad there are people who being bi for them was like, that is who their identity is. And there are people who are lesbians who like, that is who their identity was. And they knew that from the very beginning. And they didn't grow up in a very conservative Christian Southern place where like you could not even fathom the fact that you were a lesbian at that point. You had to hold on to some form of like heteronormativity because like their consequences were dire. Like you couldn't do that. And so she's like, but now to treat that journey of mine of unpacking religious trauma and growing up in the South and all of these kinds of things as like well, you'll just get right back there. It's like, you're discounting all of the work that she has done on herself, like all of the acceptance she's had with herself to like, she gets to define who she is. She gets to define what she's attracted to, who she's into, and she identifies as a lesbian. So stop saying that one day she could suddenly not become a lesbian. And then we get into more wild shit that turns out Betty Who has said. She went on the Las Culturistas podcast and defended Armie Hammer. And Matt and Bowen like are immediately trying to like rein her in because she's like, well, you know, I really don't know anything about it. And then as saying that doesn't really know anything about it, but it's like, but if it just feels like kink shaming, I mean, if it wasn't consensual, and so quickly Matt's like, it was not consensual, like that, like hopping in and it's like, well, it's all fantasies. And it was like, okay, so no, there were actual like physical things that are happening as well. Like these are and literally they're trying to get her to stop to like think about it and talk about it. And it's like, okay, sure. In these hypotheticals, if what you're saying is true, which you're claiming you do not know any of this, you're still deciding that, like, let's continue this conversation about why we need to defend Armie Hammer. What the fuck? Like, Armie Hammer and his violence against women. She also talks about how gay her straight cis husband is and how she's, again, going into this whole thing of perpetuating the tropes of a lesbian who finds the right guy can then become straight or be with a man, and that you can make straight men gay. And she also says her straight husband is going to Fire Island to take pictures of, in her words, gays in their natural habitat because he's drawn to the primal nature of gay men.
What?
She then continues to talk about how all of his friends are straight and that, like, his type prior to her, he always liked lesbian. It's just, like, it's so deeply odd. And she issued an apology today that, like, you know, not my apology to accept, but the consensus of the whole thing is like, you can talk about your journey, but to like loop in other people and then to also like subject other people to your husband and his straight friends in a way that you need to bring them into these places and have them do these things that you're like, oh yeah, sick. Oh my God, love that. This is how gay my straight husband is. He's going to go take pictures of gay men at Fire Island. Like, that's like so deeply inappropriate. And then you have this like protection of being a white person in a heterosexual relationship to like be able to say those things and feel still protected. She also uses the term alphabet mafia, which I, at this point, tend to think of as a dog whistle for more conservative when it's used in a negative light. And then she has a quote saying, "It shouldn't be illegal to fall in love." And we're talking about when a man falls in love with a woman. That's what she's saying. It shouldn't be illegal to fall in love. Now we've come so far and our community is so strong that it's a crime to be straight. We're punishing people for being heterosexual. And then she goes, JK. And specifically saying that as an Australian, like, but seemingly with an American accent, thinking it's American, like at this time and place to say that people are being punished for being straight is not fucking happening in our government, in our society. It's just not happening. And this place of being able to like say that feels incredibly detached from, it feels the security of having a Australian passport. It feels like even if you live here, like that feels like that is not the consensus amongst Americans, specifically like visibly not straight, visibly not cis Americans. Like that's just okay. And then she also says she became obsessed with a boy, and that's the best thing that ever happened to me. Someone made a really great comment that I want to read in full because I think it's great. This is someone else saying that someone else made a comment, but it was on the FOMOA subreddit. Someone made a good point in saying that some people that preach sexuality as fluid is onto lesbians in particular, was just to just mean that it's fluid as in it has to involve men, because no one's really ever saying that thing to gay men. Yeah, it's the it has to involve men thing that really hit, I think. It's incomprehensible to some people that relationships could simply not involve a man at all, ever, full stop. And they do all sorts of mental gymnastics to make sure that that door is left open. So I think that like that's so real in this, that's just the centering of men in this is still so deeply there. And I just think, I think this is, I think it's like just, it's deeply cruel to so many people, but I find this to be like, this is like these statements all the while she's using the slur against lesbians while identifying as a lesbian while being with a man and then centering men in all of this. Like, I just can't imagine how hurtful this is to, I don't know how large her lesbian fan base is, but like just this rhetoric as a whole. And a lot of people have said this feels like she's good. She's going to pivot to the conservative pipeline. And yeah, I wanted to make sure I talked about this because I know we have a lot of queer, gay, lesbian listeners, bi listeners, everything. And we talk about biphobia, we talk about lesbophobia and all that stuff. But we also have a lot of straight listeners. And I just want to make sure if people didn't catch this on their For You page, sometimes I think as like me as a white, cis, straight woman, you hear someone a part of the LGBTQ plus community talking about something. And if your algorithm isn't designed in a certain way, or your circle isn't designed in a certain way, or like you are in a very sheltered area, you might be like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This is person's lived experience. And it's just, there's a lot of people talking about this who aren't getting as much traction as like her viewpoints. And yeah, it's like this, I just find this atrocious and just like so awful. And I hope Renee Rapp is like feeling good about, because like that's just like it. She's such like a quick-witted, smart, like all of that kind of stuff. But like it's insidious that Betty Who knew enough about Renee Rapp to be able to know, like to think that she could like speak on this, because like those videos when Renee's talking about this, like she's like it's just really fucked up to me, like just like super fucked up. So hope Renee Rapp is doing well, and I hope anybody who like felt any type of way about this, doing your best to like let it roll off, because like it's just fucked.
Yeah. I saw it and I immediately watched it and said, "This broad is stupid." Mm-hmm. And then that was pretty much the extent of my thoughts when it came to that woman.
The Army Hammer stuff, like I guess like people are uncovering like old podcast clips of like other stuff that she like. It's like she just like stays saying like really weird like men obsessed things that like to the point where you're defending Army Hammer. Okay.
And why do people keep letting her on podcasts?
Well, that's what I think. She's like not that famous, so I think like it's these videos and these like clips and stuff like weren't really taking as much traction prior, and I wonder if that's gonna change now.
How long has she been married to her husband?
Like 14 years, 11 years, 15 years.
She's only 33.
Oh, or maybe she's been with him.
Okay. They got married in 2017.
But yeah, so the whole time that he's been famous.
All right. Well, yeah. She's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my wrong of the week is Jelena Ostapenko. So there's a moment in every sport where the contest on the field or court ends and a different kind of interaction begins. In tennis, that moment is the post-match handshake at the net. It's meant to be a simple, polite exchange, a moment of respect and sportsmanship. But recently at the US Open, that simple act became a tense, heated confrontation, and it left many of us fans wondering what exactly happened. The conflict involved American Taylor Townsend and Latvia's Jelena Ostapenko. Taylor won the match in straight sets, dominating the second set 6-1. The score was clean, decisive victory. But when the two players came to the net, instead of a quick handshake and a polite nod, Jelena exchanged sharp words. She accused Townsend of having no class and no education. And in response, Townsend fired back with, "You can learn to take a loss better." So why did a decisive win lead to such a public crash out? The answer isn't in the official rules of tennis, but in its unwritten code of contact. This clash was all about the net court. For those who don't play, a net court is when a shot hits the top of the net and barely trickles over to the opponent's side, often winning a point for the player who hit it. It's a lucky break, and in tennis, there's a long-standing tradition, a piece of etiquette, that you raise your hand in a symbol of polite apology. You're not truly saying you're sorry, you're just acknowledging your good fortune. And this isn't a new phenomenon. In 2020, two-time Grand Slam champion Svetlana Kuznetsova compared it to the polite American greeting, "How are you?" She said, "Do you care how you are? But you're still polite and you answer. This is the same thing. You're polite and you put your hand up." It's an act of respect for the game itself. We've seen it throughout the sport's history, with Rafael Nadal criticizing Robin Soderling for fist pumping instead of apologizing, to Aryna Sabalenka admitting that she was pissed off when an opponent chose to celebrate a net court shot instead of apologizing. But for Ostapenko, this was not a minor issue. She said it was the first time ever this has happened to her on tour, and she saw Townsend's lack of apology as a profound act of disrespect. Her comments like, if she plays in her homeland, it doesn't mean that she can behave and do whatever she wants, revealed for her that this is a matter of principle and culture expectations, but in the end, it was just racist. On the other side of the net, Taylor Townsend saw things very differently. She didn't feel the need to apologize for a lucky break that's part of the game. Her perspective was rooted in the outcome. She let her racket do the talking, and she won. When asked about it, she said, "It's competition. People get upset when they lose." Her focus was on the result of the match, not the perceived slight. The essence of this entire situation isn't just about racism. It's about a fundamental difference in philosophy. But you don't come for someone and say that it's a game of class and education and adherence to shared unspoken traditions. Because as Taylor Townsend, it's simply about winning. You can play the point, you can take the win, and you can move on, especially when you were shut out 6-1. So, don't come from somebody and say that you didn't apologize to me and you have no class and no education. And Taylor has also beat her other times too. So stop just embarrassing yourself.
So deeply
You
embarrassing.
look dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a sore loser. Just move on. Like you don't have a complete crash out yelling at the opponent.
You know, like the term, you mean like a sore winner, sore loser or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't being like a sore winner. This wasn't like, hey, like suck my dick. Like
gloating.
I'm like literally like yeah, exactly. It wasn't like the whole like when you like take like rock stars like breaking your when they break their guitars over their head and they like do all of that stuff. They rip their shirt. Like it wasn't that. She
just kept playing.
She literally just kept playing. And so then I'm like, okay, so you want to draw even more attention to like, by the way, you beat me so badly that I knew I had absolutely no chance. So the entire thing I'm hung up on is this one little incident of like you doing a thing that like truly is so inconsequential. I'm like, that's how little you think of your own playing. Like that's what's been in your mind this whole fucking time. That's what you want to talk about. Oh my God, maybe just say, by the way, I don't want to play her anymore. She's really good and it's making me look really bad.
You lost.
It's so deeply embarrassing. I have to say, maybe I'm wrong, but I would love if anyone who's like more acknowledging of the sport. I like low-key kind of feel like tennis has the sorest losers, like publicly of professional. Like
they're such babies.
Why would you like lose? Like why would you lose and then like throw a public temper tantrum and then like do interviews about that and like you've made this this like more deeply embarrassing, and it just feels like it just keeps happening.
Yeah. But there's also, it's usually happening a lot when a white tennis player is playing against a black tennis player. And because it's such like an international sport, a lot of times these people are coming from places that don't have black people and they just feel like they should be the best, even though a lot of Americans have that same thought process. But it's just so much more outwardly.
It's deeply unchecked racism.
Yes, it's deeply unchecked, but they're very much more outwardly saying what they actually feel.
Which some of these tennis players are like my age, and I have never lived in a time period when black women were not the best at tennis. And I'm just like, so you thinking that why in the hell would these black women be better at tennis than you? Girl, your entire life, black women have been the best. Yes. My entire life.
Yep.
Huh? What? They look so fucking, they look so fucking stupid.
Yep.
And it's just like and as a white person, I can say this. Their faces get so red. They get so blotchy. The eyes start, but like everything turns pink and like it looks like the fucking anger cartoon from Inside Out. I'm like, so it's, and then doubling down in the fucking press interviews. I'm like, okay, baby, do you need a pacifier?
And then one of the other women, I'm sorry, I didn't write her name down because I couldn't pronounce it. A lot of these names I can't pronounce. I couldn't pronounce her name at all. But she like was defending her and was saying, well, she has a lot of things going on off the court that are making her angry. What does that have to do with Taylor?
Okay, if you're gonna say that, just so sorry. Her husband is cheating on her with the pool boy. Like, what do you mean she has things going on in her life?
We all have things going on.
Did she break both of her legs and both of her arms? Then maybe she shouldn't be playing tennis. Like, what has happened here is so gravely affecting her tennis game that none of us can see? And I'm so confused at how that led her to throwing a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Maybe she could just play badly and then go home. Get a pint of ice cream, eat her feelings like a normal person when we lose.
Yeah. Also, these headlines talking about that they clashed at the U.S. Open. There's so much drama. Or saying Taylor snaps back. When she didn't snap back, all she said was like...
Also, if you want to get technical, she smiled the whole time.
She smiled, but she also said, thank you, and I'm sorry that you feel that way. Like something, or you should learn how to lose better. Something like that. So all these headlines try to make it seem like it was like two people arguing when it was one person arguing, another person just saying thank you and walking off.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, have a good one.
Mm-hmm. And then she went and cheered with the rest of the team. And I love that. You have to walk off a loser and then hear the whole stadium cheering against you.
And then like those videos of like they follow them back to the like prep rooms or whatever, and they like break their.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like adrenaline running. Like I'm fine with that after, but like on the court.
No, I'm saying for people after you've already had a public temper tantrum on the court, you've had one off the court, you've had one in press, and then you go to this here, and I'm like, we can see all of it. That I'm like, is this like a humiliation thing that you have to like that you feel that you must do? Like it's wild. And then the other part that I think is this is like such a random tangent, but that like the culture of tennis and like the specifically like British people and people under like the monarchy of like loving tennis, and this being like people view it as like very like, oh, very posh aristocrat, and the stiff upper lip of like the don't show your emotion like British people. And I was like, and you love these tennis players like losing their absolute like emotional minds. Like what, huh? And you hate American reality TV? This is okay.
I also just want to put a few photos out there too.
Of her getting red. I can't see. What? Don't tell me that's what I think it is. It's blurry. Is it what I think it is?
She has braids.
Yeah, of course she does. I can tell by the lack of density in that little bun.
Cornrows?
Oh, that's not even her hair.
Nope.
Okay. And I can't help but laugh at these photos of her. Like, I'm watching the traction alopecia. Like, her hairline is... It's remarkable how far that this has pushed back. It's causing, like, her skin to tighten, like, on her... the veins popping out. So as she's getting angry, she's getting more and more flat breakage because her hair is breaking off. And like, she just looks, you know what? Maybe this is what they talked about, like the tea kettle getting violent. Like this looks like the personification of a cartoon tea kettle, but like, and she's all like carrying like so much stuff. It's just such a, it's so deeply embarrassing.
All right. Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Join us tomorrow for See You Next Tuesday, Thursday for Don't Blame Me, Friday Fisting Friday, and we'll be back on Monday for another episode of But Am I Wrong? Hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend.
I wonder if anyone's having is in labor. Let us know if you're in labor. Let us know after.
It lasts for a long time.
Yeah, if you've got the capacity.
Yeah. All right. We will circle back.
Goodbye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
It's ticklish business any way you look at it. Come on, we'll stick together.
Love movies? Love classic movies? So do we. Ticklish Business is the podcast where classic film is discussed in modern times. Hosted by me, film journalist Kristen Lopez, and my co-host, author Emily Edwards, we dive into the golden age of cinema with fun, heart, and serious expertise. As published film historians and lifelong classic movie buffs, we bring insider insights, deep research, and lively debates with a variety of special guests, ranging from celebrities like Holly Madison to TCM luminaries Dave Karger and Eddie Muller, and even family members of old Hollywood legends. Subscribe now to Ticklish Business on your favorite podcast app, and let's talk about old Hollywood today.
Hi, I'm Brandy Basanti. For the last 15 years, I've starred on one of the most successful reality shows of all time, Story Tours. On my new show, The Real Reality, my guest and I will reveal the real story of what it's like navigating fame and notoriety. Because it's my show, I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. No filters, no rules, no network executives. And I believe that's what the world wants. Raw, real, authentic, and I'm gonna fucking give it to you. Though success is great, being in the public eye can come at a cost. Oftentimes, what you see on camera is not the real reality. On each episode of my show, we'll sit down with a different notable individual from the world of TV, film, sports, or internet fame. We will explore their unique story, what really happened on and off camera, how becoming famous has truly impacted their lives, and what their vision is for their future. In a world obsessed with celebrity, followers, and subscribers, the true story is often lost or even buried. This show will reveal what really happened. This show will reveal what people really felt. This show will reveal what fame is really like. This is the real reality. Subscribe now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Does music really have the power to heal? How can you instantly be more persuasive? What would the world be like if there were no bugs? These are the kind of topics we explore in every episode of my podcast called Something You Should Know. My name is Mike Carruthers, and what we do on Something You Should Know is we find leading experts and curate topics that will impact your life, satisfy your curiosity, or simply fascinate you, maybe all of the above. Out of all the millions of podcasts in the universe, Something You Should Know is usually ranked in the top 200 of all podcasts on Apple. A lot of people like Something You Should Know, and I'm willing to bet you will too. We deliver 3 episodes a week and have a catalog of over 1,000 shows for you to listen to. Give a listen to Something You Should Know, wherever you get your podcasts.